What's going on, people? Welcome to the Full View. You know what it is, Monday, 7 p.m. That's right. And again, on
Just
cue,
because
right
we
on
can,
cue.
bro. Why not, bro?
Just because we can. It's been an insane week at Manchester United. There's been loads of things that's happened since the last Full View. Certain people were saying we were going to get 6 points. Some were saying we were going to get 3 points. Actually, did anyone even say
Some people
that?
said 2 points. Some people said 2 points.
Did someone say 2? Who said 2 points?
Said 2 points. They're here. Some people said 2 points. They know who they are. They know who they are. They know who they are. There's
no what? Did he say 2
Owen?
points? You disgrace. You absolutely press. No.
You're a cheat.
No.
You're a cheat.
That is actually disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm a nervous viewer. I've said this before. I'm a nervous viewer, but when I used to play, I used to be sick nearly. So I blame it on nerves.
Yeah.
2 point gang. Yeah. So
we can talk about being negative. We can talk about flexing. The game was over. KG was like I told you. So we can throw smoke. We can throw smoke. So
100%. Also within this week, KG said that Fred was rubbish and we should never use him again. And then he dropped an absolute masterclass against Spurs. And then
what did he do? Then the raw Fred returned again, bro.
Yeah.
He did it right. He did it right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
But
Flex returned. But I mean, Fred returned.
Wait there. The biggest thing we're going to talk about loads in it. It's the Full View. But the biggest thing we got to talk about, obviously, which we don't always want it to be that, but it just is in it. Is this Cristiano Ronaldo situation? Because in the media today, Laurie Whitwell's been talking about it. A lot of papers have been talking about it. That actually, what is his fate? Since we've all last spoke as the congregation, Gary Neville's had his say. Roy Keane's had his say. I know a lot of people have disagreed with what some of the legends have been saying in defense of Ronaldo. And you know what? The question is just this. I'm just going to fall back. Open question to the group. Is there a way back for CR7? It says it right there in the title. Any takers, go. Run with it.
Nah. No. Don't want him. Nope. I'm not having my honor and dignity be tarnished by a man who thinks he's better than everybody else. I've held my patience. I've bit my tongue. I've kept my mouth shut with all the antics you've done, but you're taking the piss. And can't, man. I can't. If I have the energy for Martial, by the way, and you lot know me, I'm the Martial FC hunter. I hunt Martial FC down every day in, day out. So I have to keep the same energy for Ronaldo. Nah, man, can't have that. You can't disrespect me and my club and my manager.
Oh, I'm torn on this one. I'm torn because it's about self-sufficiency. I'm only trying to look after myself. I've got my own aspirations. Like I say, there's a way back for Ronaldo only till January. At Jan, sell him, bro. As soon as the offer comes through on FIBA, bro, you know that one when it you don't even do the negotiation.
Send the delegates. Send the delegates.
Sell him. And I know they're trying to work as well, but sell him, bro, because this is only gonna get again. Right now, we finally got two sides of the coin. There's Man United fans that really love Ronaldo and feel he's been disrespected. Then you got normal fans. And I know that might burn. There's a couple of fans that have listened to that and saying, oh my goodness, but all them fans that tweeted karma and all those fans that wanted us to lose yesterday, you got to look at yourself and say, is it that deep? Do you love Ronaldo more than a club like that it goes to those extreme lengths? I think listen,
you're an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat.
All of them, bro. All of them, every single one of them that was saying karma, because I was in the chat, all of them have to look at themselves and say, at what point, bro, the guy's, how old is he now? 37? Or is he even close to 38? Listen,
in Feb, I think.
38 in Feb, yeah? 38. And you want him to lead the line and be a part of the new story? No. And anyone expecting for Ten Hag, because they keep saying Ten Hag disrespects him, bro. Ten Hag understands many players have come here down tools, and the players don't lose their jobs. The manager does. So the manager has to look after himself, look after numero uno, which is him, play what he wants, get the results he wants. And if he loses, at least he can say, I did it my way. That's it, fam.
Martin says that Mina's not pleased at all.
I don't know where people got this idea that I'm the captain of the Ronaldo fan base. After the antics from Spurs game, he has to go, blood. he has to go. I don't see him. I genuinely, I think he's disrespected the club. And you know what? A lot of people talk about club legends and how great. Like we've had some of the greatest players playing for this team, and when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. Sir Alex Ferguson actually said in his biography that no player is bigger than the club, and if they want to part ways, then it's best to always cut the ties. Similar with what happened with David Beckham. The only difference is David Beckham was entering the peak of his career. Ronaldo is coming to the end of his. I don't think either. I think in the summer Ronaldo should have left personally. It got into a very toxic situation for the club. But again, this just addresses the short-term solutions that United is always going for when signing strikers. We never should have even signed Ronaldo. I personally don't think so. That was a short-term solution.
We should have signed him.
I don't think
I
we
swear
should have.
few videos ago you said we should be patient with Ronaldo, no?
Yeah, I said we should be patient with him if he's in our lineup. When Rashford ain't playing and Martial ain't playing, Faz, you can try and call me out all you want, but if Martial ain't playing, I'm telling you, if Rashford ain't playing and Martial ain't playing, it's sad. But Ronaldo's leading our line, and you have to be patient with him. It's as simple as that.
I just remember you saying he scored 20 other goals in all comps, and we should be patient. And
I never said he scored. I said that if he's starting in our lineup, we should be patient. The goals will come eventually. Listen to me. If Rashford ain't playing and Martial playing, who's playing up front? Are you playing up front? Absolutely not.
Ronaldo's Man United giving me a contract. I tell you what, at least I won't cry when my head's
what circle of hell have we entered if Faz is our number 9? I tell you now. Something has very badly gone wrong at Manchester United.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'd pay money to see that. I can't lie.
Right. Listen, I'm telling you, you should. I might start showing you some clips of my 7-a-side.
I don't want to see it, bro. I don't want to see it.
We've seen Faz at Toca Social. We've seen him. It's not really.
What player did you play last week?
I'm blaming the liquor. Listen, I'm blaming the liquor. I'm blaming the liquor. No,
you know, you can set the modes at the speed that the ball comes out. It wasn't even really set that high for Faz. He still couldn't really control it.
There was a lot of.
I had jeans on. A lot
of unintentional.
I'm with you, Faz. I had jeans on. They need to respect you, bro. You lot.
I had jeans on. Calm down. Not like you, man, were doing bare anyways. And yeah. Let's not get into this. Let's
keep this on.
We need to come to Marcel.
Let's keep it on Ronaldo.
We need to come to Marcel because before Faz made that thing happen just then, Mina's saying he can go, get out. What are you saying, Marcel? Let's keep the conversation flowing.
I think Mina's right. I think everyone's right. I think he's got past his sell-by date. In my opinion, he hasn't been to the level required. I think anymore. He's not good enough, so he has to go. I think January is the best opportunity for him to go and the best time for him to go. And this should be the last time that we see a player that has been told once already not to leave before the end of the game, and has gone and done that again. That's as simply. I don't see him as no go. I don't put him in any held esteem.
Whoa.
I knew it. You know what? Someone in the chat said, here comes a controversial opinion. And I thought, no, so far so good. Then he goes.
He does this. He starts off rational and then he just takes a left turn. He just takes a left turn out of nowhere. And you go, oh, what was that?
Wait, God, the floor's yours.
Okay, wait, no. Do you know what? Instead of just laughing and just, let's dive into this. When you say, it's about accountability on the show, and say what you mean and mean what you say. So, Marcel, when you say you don't see him as a GOAT, you don't see him as a GOAT of
that gets taken away.
Of what,
Manchester
because he's tarnished it.
Yeah, he's tarnished it. That gets taken away as soon as you do something.
So his legacy. So you're saying because of what he's done, his legacy at Man United is ruined because of that.
It's ruined, of course. I mean, we've had players that have done things as well before, but they will play when they're called upon to play. They play, and at the end of the day, you're meant to be a professional. That's the standards I was holding him to at the beginning of the season. We're talking about just having to part with him if he's here part of the club. Well, one of those was the requirement was to be professional. When you're called upon, you play. And at the end of the day, he hasn't been able to do that. So I don't want to put him in any held esteem. And I can't believe people, like what KG's been saying, they wanted us to lose. They wanted us to lose because we didn't have somebody that doesn't want to play for the club when he's called upon. I think that's disgraceful, to be honest with you. And he's definitely, I can't wait for him to leave. Because that's not an example that you should be setting to the young players at our club. We've got the likes of Charlie.
Marcel, I think there's someone. Marcel, quickly, I think there's someone under your floorboards trying to get out, big man.
I think the powers above.
Ronaldo's there, bro. You're hearing the fireworks. You're hearing the fireworks.
We saw
You heard
divine
someone-
intervention.
Wait.
Divine intervention on Marcel.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Diwali.
Someone called Marcel Omarion. I'm finished. You know,
But yeah,
too much.
Diwali, guys. Diwali in my area, they're celebrating
Yeah,
Diwali.
and actually,
So
big
happy
up
Diwali
to
anyone in the community.
everyone. Big up to everyone watching who's celebrating Diwali. Actually, happy Diwali to anyone celebrating
Yes.
Diwali today. Big up to you guys.
Happy Diwali.
Marcel, so I asked you that, you feel that his things he's tarnished his legacy here. Then that's so you're finished, you're done. Owen, Marcel's saying, he's basically what Ronaldo's done is unforgivable. That's what Marcel's saying. Is what Ronaldo's done unforgivable? Should he be basically sacked on the spot then, really, or is it dust it off, keep it moving as long as you're playing for us?
No, I don't think he's tarnished his legacy or anything as drastic as that. I mean, what Ronaldo's done at United obviously isn't significant as what he's done at Real Madrid or anything like that. But I don't think he's tarnished his career. The trophies he's won in the past, they're still trophies he's won. The records he's broken in the past are still those records. I think that he will play again for United, to be honest with you. I think he could play as soon as Thursday, to be honest, because I agree with all of you that hopefully the situation gets resolved in January and he leaves. I think most likely that's probably a mutual termination and they come to some kind of agreement in terms of a buyout of his contract, and then he can go somewhere on a free transfer or something like that. That's dependent, of course, on Manchester United finding a replacement, because we're light anyway, let alone with losing another striker. We need at least 2 strikers, to be honest, and I don't expect that in January. But I don't think he's tarnished his legacy. Like everyone else, I thought what he did Wednesday was ridiculous. And I don't understand. I really, for the life of me, cannot understand the logic that some people are bending over backwards to try and justify that behavior. All of us have sat on streams. All of us sat on streams for the last however many years. And this is why I feel like I'm going crazy, because for 2 years, we've been going, I tell you what, we need a manager that comes in, displays authority, stamps his authority on the side, no more player FC. If someone steps out of line, no one's bigger than the club. And yet one person does it. Yeah, he might be the greatest player of all time, but he's still no bigger than the club. No player's bigger than the club. So someone steps out of line and suddenly it's Ronaldo. And suddenly it's, he is being disrespected because he's played on the bench. Roy Keane, which I thought was a total nonsense, what he was saying at the weekend, when he was saying, well, if he played every game, he'd be in the top scorer of the league or the side. He couldn't play every game. He didn't play pre-season. How could he? He didn't play. He had played 45 minutes of pre-season. And when he's played so far this season, either he hasn't scored or he scored less, or we make less chances. Like the facts are there when it comes to that. And like I said, the logic of, bringing him on for the last couple of minutes is disrespectful. You are the highest paid player at the club. You're one of the highest paid players in the Premier League. You are still a player at the end of the day. Yes, you might have this reverence. Yes, you might have this aura around you, but you are still just a player, and the manager's job is to pick the side and bring people on or take people off. That's how football works. And on top of that, people go, oh, it's just because he's getting on in his career. He's never done it before. Well, he has done it before. Several times at several clubs. He's done it before. He did it at United in pre-season. He did it at Juventus under Sarri. And people like to talk about Real Madrid fans. I've seen them too in the last however many days going, oh, if he was at Real Madrid, we'd never disrespect him. He'd taken the piss. You'd get their handkerchiefs out and start booing him. They did that when he was there. So again, there's a lot of people, I think, that don't understand the situation or want to get on the side of Cristiano Ronaldo because it might benefit them somehow, or they realize if they stick up for Ronaldo, it gets them attention. I don't know, or they're contrarians. But the facts of the matter are that you cannot behave like that. And even if you were annoyed, what happened to you in the summer, even if you were frustrated, you didn't get your move. You've got, 3 weeks until the World Cup? You're telling me you can't remain professional for 3 weeks and sit on the bench until the World Cup. Have your great tournament, get your move in January, and keep your head held high. And what we're talking about is a player, when in reality, we should be talking about we've lost 1 game in 9 matches. We should be talking about 6 of them we've won. We should be talking about we've played everyone in the top 6 and only lost to Man City. That's what we should be talking about. Not one player walking out because he made our best performance of the season about him. And that's my frustration with all of this. It's always about him. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's always about Ronaldo. And he will play again, and the conversation will happen again because that's what's happening at the moment. But that's my frustration with it. And it causes division. It causes a conversation that doesn't need to be had. And, hopefully he will go in January for the sake of his career, for the sake of our sanity, to be honest, because I'd much be preferring to be talking about our manager and how well he's doing.
Owen, while we've got you as well,
Mm.
there's obviously been a new Prime Minister, Richie Sunak. I wanted to get your thoughts on like world affairs as well, because I feel like I just feel like Owen's he's just spitting. He's just ready to just go the whole way. So I just want to know what you think of Richie Sunak.
I'm not. I don't want to get into
All
the
right.
Tories. I don't want to get into the Tories.
Not politics, Dan. All right, cool. I was just checking.
I start swearing, and I don't want to swear. I was very close. I was holding that.
When someone's spitting, when they're just coming with it, you're like, I may as well just ask him about what he thinks about life.
I sort of started off calmly and built into a rage there for a second. I've calmed down a little bit now. I'm fine.
He went for it. Now, but facts with a lot of the things you said. I'm gonna read out some of the super chats here. We've got a lot waiting, and then the floor's you lots again. Leroy says we are the second best team in the league behind City. It's time to get reckless. Whoa.
Who said that? Sorry.
Leroy said that.
Ooh.
Said we're the second best team in the league behind City.
The Troy clan is coming,
But yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Red Baron says, soon as Flex said we lose, United end up drawing with a little emoji like, Okay, like KG said at the beginning of the stream, he likes it when I'm not confident. Okay. Austin says, big ups everyone. Back the badge and Eric Ten Hag. Rob Hafferly says the thing with CR7 is it should never be allowed to get to this point. He should have been able to go in the summer. He'll always be a legend, but as a club, we need to move forward now. #Glazers out. Latest member of UV Members Club, EMXG. Big up to you, bro. Really appreciate you joining. Zayn Miasi is here. Haven't seen Zayn. I wasn't sure if he was... Yeah, he says, Ronaldo, come to Arsenal. You were the top scorer last season. And United fans don't appreciate you. He's done more than Rashford, Martial put together.
Sorry.
Finger slip, yeah. And Dill says, for me, we should have never signed him simply for the way he left Juve. Not surprised by this at all. Lil Yo-Yo says, I got an icebox where my heart used to be. And Leroy says, KG, CR7 has been disqualified from your Legs versus Hero show.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I've got this. No, he can't be disqualified, but I'm trying to work out who's a legend and who's not at Man United, because it's a really sticky one. I'm trying to figure out, like, who gets legendary status. Like, is Oli a legend? Just in general, like, Man United players, which ones are legends, bro? Is Oli, do you consider Oli a legend?
As a player?
A Man United legend?
Yeah, he won the Champions League last minute. He scored more goals as a substitute than any other player.
You go. What about RVP?
Yeah.
Cult hero.
I wouldn't go as far as legend.
It gets. What about Jason Park?
Yeah.
Cult hero.
Probably not legend.
I don't know. It's really kind of legendary. I don't know. I don't.
Hero.
Listen,
He's a hero.
Anyway, listen, that's cheeky of you.
That's a next. Yeah, all right, cool. But he's saying he's disqualified from it.
No,
but you're saying he's not. Okay, cool. M. Sati says, simply Ronaldo doesn't have the time to fit in the team, and Eric Ten Hag can't afford more trials as matches keep coming. I don't think he is finished in general, or he is not a legend. Come on, Martial, it says, but they mean Marcel. Troy Superstar says, in capitals, why are you still talking about this? You're making me angry. Scholes also refused to play. Stop. Keane was right. Stop this crucifixion and move on. Basically, leave Ronaldo alone. We're going to win the league. And
Troy had the best super chat the other day. He was saying that people who back Ten Hag are in a cult. He said, you're in the Ten Hag cult. And then he finished it off with Ronaldo forever. I went, sounds very cultish. Oh, you've entered that one, Troy.
Troy's saying we're going to win the league, though. So that means he's back in the manager. So how would he go against...
He doesn't. It's very crazy. It's very crazy.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Well, big up, Troy. Freedom of Speech Act and all that.
We need to talk about some of these.
Wait. All right, sorry, I haven't finished super chats, and then it's straight over to you. Let me get rid of them. Blueberry Bass Boy says, love CR7, but Chelsea can have him. Lisandro Martinez will brock him back and put him in sliders. Josh Warren, UV member for 5 months as well. Big up, Josh, and anyone else who's been a member for that long. Big up to you guys. CR7's antics are disgraceful, but we are being too soft. We have legends that have done worse. He's still a GOAT. Mutual separation in January. And Kay says, Owen, how can you say all of those things that he's done in the summer and the season, and then say Ronaldo's legacy is spotless? Standards ?
Because again, you talk about other people have done similar stuff at Manchester United, and time heals all wounds. After 5 years or whatever, when Ronaldo's career's ended, Man United fans will be celebrating what he's achieved in his career. People might point back, but also I would say to people, when that time's passed, let it go. Like with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you have to respect his career. People can still hold a grudge about his tenure as manager. Let it go. It's over. It's past.
And Truth Engraved says, Player FC is ridiculous. They shouldn't comment on club affairs. Anyone who supports the club would back the manager unequivocally. Bring Corbyn back. It's getting a bit political. I shouldn't even have mentioned it. Lux Hill, sorry. Lux Hill says, Marcel looking more JME than Amarion, to be honest. Serious. And Troy Superstar says, CR7 staying all season. We need his goals to win the league. Scholes, my favorite, also refused to play. We are winning the league. Mina, please tell them chill. Gabriel Noel says, Ballon d'Or winner, record goal scored, 3 Prems in a row. Part of one of, if not the most lethal front threes ever to grace the Prem. Ronaldo is a legend. And Red Baron says, don't think the UK has freedom of speech. Okay, there you go. Yes, over to you, KG.
Right,
go for it.
To move things on as well, just my last point on this, because the Scholes argument is the greatest argument that everyone keeps bringing up. But Fergie's not taking care of a brand new team, and it's not a manager that's trying to put down his authority on a side. We're talking about Fergie, the most winningest team, yeah. And Scholes they have the issues, but they know each other, right? Yes, we can deal with that later. He knows all his players. By that time, Fergie's been with these players for years. It's not the same. You're talking about somebody that everybody's looking at. And remember, our team, is well known for downing tools. Yeah, we're the best at it. Like, we put the tools down for fun. You saw Aston Villa do it the other day. We're the kings of it. We can down tools, new manager, bounce, tools will go down again. And how many times have we heard the players don't like the going home early? The players don't like this. The players don't like that. The players don't like the style of our training. This is the Man United way under the new regime, under probably, let's say, since they started getting the managers out from before. Who's the first one that they got out who's the first guy they got out that we
Moyes.
No, they didn't.
You mean this crop? You mean this crop of player?
Yeah, they didn't down to us in Moyes. Jose is when they really started saying, you know what, we're not going to play this game. And then other games are like, wow, look at us now. That whole, probably Ollie's first season was a whole of the downing tools. We beat PSG, bro. That team managed how? Carrick gets the job, and all of a sudden, we're wicked. Carrick has got...
I tell you how. Paul Pogba put a curse on Mbappe. It's been put out there, hasn't it?
Cracky.
Look, what I'm saying is, this team has got previous, and we don't want these things to fester. These small foxes, small holes, whatever. There's this line about these little issues. You know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, what? Sorry, KG. I don't know what you're trying to say. Can you clarify, please, for the community?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying, bro. Listen.
I don't. KG, I don't know the saying. Can you tell us what the saying is, please?
Small foxes.
I don't know. Listen, technology, it didn't work. Listen, end of the day, we...
No, I'm sorry, you don't get to move on. Can you clarify what you're...
Oh, it's fucking up.
Honestly, I have no idea what he's talking about. I can't even...
You know what? As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, shit.
Bro, we don't know what you mean, bro.
Small foxes in round holes.
Nah, you got big issues, bro.
Yeah. Can you play the crackhead button for yourself, KG, please? Can you play the crackhead button for yourself, please, KG?
You know when he tried to, what you call it? When he tried to do, you try an analogy and it's just not running, fam.
Crackhead.
But seriously, all I'm saying is Man United got previous. We have to keep it moving. All the players are watching. It's not the same as when Fergie was in control and he had all those players and stuff. This is a different manager trying to really put down his authority, and this is the key moment. This is the one moment where you say, oh, I wonder how he acts, and he's handling it perfect. Then now we get to move on, and I would love to talk about Martinez on the stream, because that celebration with the crowd and the fans, Martinez is. Someone said it. I think it was Faz. Faz, did you say that Martinez is the best centre back in the Premier League?
When I said it, you and Flex didn't like
it. He said the world.
Listen, remember that day when you came for the Arsenal game, and after we were doing player ratings, you didn't want to stand next to me because I made that comment.
Oh, I did. I did. Yeah, it's true.
When I said, you were telling me, say it, and Flex had the mic. flex at the mic, and I said it then. He's one of the best in the world. And yeah, I said, oh yeah, he's the best in the world. Okay, calm
Too
down. But you know
soon,
what I
though.
mean?
Too soon.
No, it's not too soon. Like I know I'm a crackhead, but still, I say I be spitting facts. I be spitting facts low key sometimes, but you lot don't want to take me seriously. When I told you about this guy, you lot didn't want to take me seriously. And now look, you can raise your eyebrow, Owen. You raise your eyebrow. You keep raising your eyebrow. Bring your decrease the level of your eyebrow, Owen.
No, actually,
First said decrease the
Owen
level of your
wise.
eyebrow.
Yeah, decrease the
Owen
level of
about
your
that.
eyebrow, Owen, because I said this from time ago, and
That's
people
right.
thought I was chatting shit then. But guess what? You lot agree with me now, don't you?
Do you know what? Do you know what's funny? No, here's my thing with this. Yeah, is someone else said it. Who was? Remember when we was doing the fan views and the guy was going on about Ericsson against who was it? After we drew against Newcastle, right? It's before we started, and he was like, "See, I told you all about Ericsson. See if he doesn't play." And I'm like, when did anyone say that Ericsson's not important? Like with the same thing with the Martinez thing. I'm like, when did any Man United fans think Martinez wasn't the guy?
Like Martin. No, he again. If you're first, you can get the plaudits for being first. He did say early.
No, but my thing is, people like big pundits, you know, big boy pundits, Flex. You know your boy them at Talk Sport, we're criticizing him. I'ma say it as it is. And they were onto him for his.
I just want to clarify for the record, Jamie O'Hara and them kind of man are not my boys. But I hear what you're saying. But I hear what you're saying.
But yeah, and I went and you know what? I thought I went and let me go and study this guy, and I saw this guy's the real deal. People don't want to put respect on his aerial ability. People don't want to put respect on his ability in tackles. The amazing way he makes tackles. His recovery if he misses a tackle. Brilliant. And I was like, you know what? There's not players like this in the Premier League. Just wait till he starts cooking, and there you go. And the best thing is, you know what the best thing is when Varane got injured that recent game, and he went over to Varane, and I just felt the love for that partnership. You could just see that that's his guy. I know that's everyone, but I just saw in Martinez's eyes that's his partner. And guess what? I even went and spoke to the guy who hugged Martinez against the Chelsea game, Sammy. I was speaking to him before the stream. Sammy was telling me this guy, the way he celebrates, we were just talking about the celebration. This guy, he just jumped up out of all players, started grabbing me and celebrating. He really loves the club. He loves the club. He wants to get emotional when I'm shouting Argentina, man. That's what I want from a centre back.
Come on,
Mina, what are you saying on Martinez? Because the chat's gone there, and you know, away from Ronaldo, it is about time we kind of move away from that. That was the biggest talking point. We have to get out of the way. But I think we've done that. It has gone on to Martinez, and let's talk positive. Like everything Faz says, I don't think anyone can disagree with how infectious he is on this team, how good he is. What are you saying on him?
No, I said this a few fan cams ago. I said that Martinez is going to go down as my player of the season, and we were only in October. I think defensively, he's come in and just solidified our defense, especially with his partnership with Varane. He was probably hugging Varane when he got injured because he's thinking, I don't want to have to play next to Maguire again. That's what he was probably thinking. I don't want to have to play. He played 2 games.
You can make it through, man. I can't. My knee. I can't. Just do it, Rafa. I need you. Rafa's gonna.
He's like,
that's how it's like playing the team.
Yeah, that was a sad moment. But yeah, he's you're saying he's just top.
He's top, and I think it's not even just like defensively, because you see even in the Chelsea game, I saw it a few times where he knows he's not going to win a header, so he goes for that second ball for that recovery because he knows he's not going to reach it. And pundits were so critical about his height, but they don't even consider what he adds to us going forward, because I think he's probably one of the best ball progressing players we've got in that back line / with Casemiro, McTominay. Varane is comfortable on the ball, but he's not as comfortable as Martinez. When Martinez is on the ball, I'm not worried. Like, I'm not worried. If it was any other centre back, if it's Lindelof, I know he can't progress the ball that well. He just has to, switch the ball. Similar with Varane, but Martinez can carry the ball from the back pretty much into the opposition's final third.
I think he's been that there. Like we can speak so much about his tenacity and like how he clamped Kane like up his arse so he couldn't turn, and really aggressive. He sets up a counter attack that I think for Anthony by basically going through Sterling with a header. Like, I don't think that was spoken about enough. He wins a header that's at ground level as well, where he could go with his feet. He wins a header, goes through the ball, the player of Sterling, everything, and they're both small, so obviously it went high. And just clatters through him, and the ball just goes to Bruno from there. Then Bruno sets Anthony, we should score. That's from a header. He's clean man out with a header, and it's like everything he does is just so. It's just got so much purpose to it. And then away from his tenacity, you're right. The way we start attacks, and his first thought when he wins the ball back is not clear it. It isn't hit the line and get them turned. Okay, last resort, cool. When you have to, you have to. But I'm going to say probably 70% of the time, he's thinking, how can I get this between the lines into a midfielder? How can I clip this down to the wing to get Jadon Sancho going, or dink it into Luke Shaw so we got an attack going? Like,
did you just say Jadon Sancho going?
Well,
Just to add
we're in the positive. We're in the positive.
I want to hear what Faz has to say about Sancho.
Just to add to that as well, what you said about Martinez. Don't forget, in the Spurs game, the second goal came from his header that he won in the second ball, and Heung-min Son tried to go for that ball and missed. And Heung-min Son, you could just see it in his face. He didn't want to jump and go toe to toe with Martinez in the air, even though Heung-min Son is taller than him. You saw Martinez out jump him, win that second ball, and that starts the play, which gets us the second goal. And these are the things that we like have been crying for and begging for from a centre back. He doesn't just head the ball hoo-ha anywhere. He heads it in the right directions as well as he does with his feet. Overall, what a player, what a signing! Like I said to you, God works in mysterious ways.
I like how Mason Mount tried to square up to him, and Luke Shaw saved his life by coming up to him, because literally the look that Martinez gave him, and you see how quickly Luke Shaw sprinted over to him. I've seen Luke Shaw not run at that in a long time.
We need you for the World Cup.
He went, whoa.
These problems you don't want.
Butcher was sharpening his tools. He was.
And I swear he pushed Jorginho as well in the last 5 minutes. He pushed him
on it. He wants to smoke with everyone. Everyone can get it.
Every single person.
Bro, he pushed David De Gea in the net, bro, and that's celebrating. Like,
he slapped Salah in the head as well when he's getting him back up at Old Trafford. He's like, get up.
It's the fact that celebration is everything, because everyone else is doing like a normal celebration. Like, no one's jumped over anyone. Bruno's kind of getting crazy. Bruno's over there, right? And you just see Nietzsche. He's the last one. And you're like, what are you doing? And he's a fan, bro. A fan, not even your own member, shaking him, bro. Like,
I seen a tweet where the fan was like, he thought Martinez was going to kiss him. That's how passionate the celebration was.
There's that picture, isn't there, of Anthony when he's standing up facing the crowd. You just see, like, in the background, you see Martinez like crowd surfing, essentially.
He's like at a 45-degree angle, just stuck in the thing. And even the tweet that he does back to him, where he's like, mate, I don't know who you are, but I love you. We're in this together.
He tweeted like it was like 3 a.m. in a night out. You know what I mean? I don't know who you are, but I love you.
No, but he's not the future captain. Everyone needs to chill. Chill with that.
Bruno.
Chill.
Has to be Bruno.
Oh, you know who it is. You know it is. The guy's exuded excellence, bro. I love that guy. It's Bruno Fernandes, man. Even he's there as well. He's in it. He's just as passionate. He's just as
leadership group.
Bro, we need. Remember, we keep saying this before. We need more than Varane. You can call Varane a captain. You know what I mean? You can say the Butcher is definitely a captain. Bruno's a captain, but you want to start to see a lot of them start to appear in the side. You need to see like Casemiro. And now it's finally coming. Now people are now talking about these guys with the right
Alex, what's your opinion on Casemiro?
My opinion on Casemiro is that he's doing well. He's asserting himself. He's looking like a top-class player. And he's rightly so keeping McTominay out of the team.
You are an absolute disgrace.
Sorry, I pressed that by accident.
That's all right. That's fine.
Sorry. But you like it now.
Bare accidents today from UKG.
Yeah, there's a lot of accidents. There's a lot of accidents coming your way.
Butterfingers. Your fingers are shivering. Your hands are shivering like a crackhead.
All the spades. You call them out. Like Faz says, you got to keep the same energy. I'm not going to go back to what I said before. At the time where Casemiro weren't playing, ask Ten Hag if you want justification. Weren't picking him. We all backed the manager. The manager weren't picking him. And McTominay was playing good. Then we got smashed at City. Then he changed it. Fine.
Can I ask Marcel?
At me for that. That's what happened.
No, I'm fine with that. Can I ask Marcel?
That's fine. That's okay, Flex.
Are you happy that the porridge didn't go through and we got Casemiro instead of Frankie de Jong? I think it's time we can have that conversation. Are you happy it's turned out?
So I don't know because against Chelsea, I feel like we were in need of ball carriers. So Casemiro is part of the squad, and I think, you know, when the team starts to develop, obviously you've got Eriksen and Bruno fighting for that 10 spot, but then I think there's still a vacancy left for a ball carrier. So I guess I am happy in a sense because Casemiro's coming into his own, and I agree with Flex, to be honest with you. I was saying before, Casemiro looked like he was still in Spain for the first few minutes. When he first started out for us, guys, he looked like he was still in Spain, honestly. He's only coming to the fold, which is fine. Which is fine. He's a class player, but then at the end of the day, I've seen Haaland come, hit the ground running. I've seen other players come and hit the ground running. And for someone of Casemiro's caliber, I guess you would always wait until it comes into fruition and he'll come into himself. But I remember saying to you guys, look like he's in Spain for the first few. But now he looks fantastic.
Now that he's here, because it would have been Frankie de Jong or Casemiro, right? Are you happy that it's actually turned out to be Casemiro? Because how we feel about Martinez and the Timber debate, I don't really think anyone's still wishing for Timber. I don't know if someone's
That's
still.
a really hard question, man.
So firstly, I said it before, Martinez gives you a 7, 8, or 9 every single football match. He's been doing that, and that's clear to see. But with Casemiro now, I think that was a problem that we needed solving for years. For a good few years, a strong, proper CDM that can hold the spaces for us. And Casemiro has come in and done that perfectly. Now you've got Eriksen, that Ten Hag. And by the way, credit to Ten Hag. He's managed to find, you know, he hasn't been able to get the ball carrier, but he's found Eriksen that can keep possession in deeper parts of the pitch. So I would say it's the right choice. And things are working out the right way, bro. You're 100% right. I would agree that maybe Frankie de Jong wasn't the right decision to go for now because Casemiro is working the way that he is currently right now. But I feel like, you know, against Chelsea, the one thing that looked at me, as soon as they had that ball carrier and they matched us 3 for 3, they started to have a bit more of the dominance in the second half. Sorry. So we need a ball carrier if we're to push on. But Casemiro has been brilliant. Everton was good at here and there. Against Spurs, fantastic, and Newcastle Chelsea as well, and of course against Chelsea.
So I just want to say it. No, I just want to. I think he's like now. I'll take it. I'm taking Frankie de Jong over. I'm taking Casemiro over Frankie de Jong. Easy. Not even I need guy. I need it. Frankie de Jong let us on, bro. He let us on, bro.
But KG. Obviously, we're talking about. It's hard to answer this question because if you answer it in any other way than what's the here and now, then the argument's done because it's like, well, we don't know if that would have happened. But essentially, if we'd have got Frankie de Jong, and he was balling out and making our midfield knit together, that's what I'm saying. So we're saying it off of emotion that he didn't.
No, he's a disgrace. Yeah, and we can be emotional. We're fans in it.
What did Frankie de Jong do wrong then? What did he do?
He let us on, bro.
What do you mean? What did he? Wait, what do you mean he wanted to do wrong? He wanted to get Champions League football, and now he's going to wake up to
the whole time.
He's going to wake up to Europa League. He's going to wake up to Europa League.
Did Frankie de Jong ever say that he wanted to come to Manchester United? I think his stance was relatively firm the entire time.
Don't believe the media thing, bro. Don't let the media brainwash you, bro.
He never wanted
to. But the fact is,
bro, the real month is us.
He wanted Champions League. That's the fact. The fact is, he wanted Champions League football. He wanted to prove his point in the squad. And look what's happening now. Karma comes around.
If there's anyone that we have to blame for this, it's maybe our great manager. Ten Hag was adamant on Frankie de Jong, and to persistently go for him. But
that's what I'm saying. You don't know how my brain works a bit different, innit?
Yeah,
I create how the story goes in my head.
Yeah, you made it up. Yeah,
he's messaged him. He said, "Bro, he's still coming."
You lie. You make stuff up. Basically, what you're saying, you're a liar.
Yeah, is that another thing you're doing by accident? Are you accidentally lying?
Don't let any of this go past.
That's not an excuse for lying. Well, my brain works differently. So
sometimes I'm right though. Sometimes we're talking about the group chats. All these things are real. All these things be happening, and then after it's like, KG,
what are you saying is real? What are you saying? What are you saying is real?
How do you know the manager never got any assurances from Frankie de Jong? Because why was he waiting for so long? The manager, our manager, must have messaged him saying, "What, like, big man, you coming?" Because we spent the whole. Remember when the window was, we're only going to sign players when Frankie de Jong comes. Our first player will come after we sign Frankie de Jong. Huh? That was our summer. So for someone got strong assurances, and the only one that really knows him is our man at the top. It's clear. Eh?
Why were we even talking about it?
Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Feels like
I just want Casemiro. All I've decided is just Frankie de Jong's on the list of people I don't like.
Until like imagine we got our backing him in the summer.
We could end up getting him.
Then
We
I
could end
have
up
to.
getting him,
Yes.
KG.
Yeah, but it'll change back then. You can change back. This is KG.
Oh,
Okay.
it's me.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
Marcel, don't bring reason and order to the the
And then
argument.
he's gonna owe me
And
another
sense.
Nando's next summer.
Yeah,
Nah, I
which
need
you
to get
still
that
haven't
to you
got.
ASAP. No, I need to get that to you.
He hasn't even sent you like a little light
28
delivery so you can
no,
order it.
28
Nothing.
working business days. 28 working business days.
No, but Faz, put that
28,
invoice.
brother.
No,
It
that
was
was the beginning of the season,
It
bro.
was like 4 months ago, my brother. 28 business days.
I think the policy's expired at that point.
Right, KG's definitely on not like player of the stream today. Like he's not.
I'm never gonna win
He's
that
not.
award.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, I feel like there's certain characters who can't win it. I think it's gonna be. It's between.
It's the Mina award. We call it the Mina, fam.
It's between Mina and Mina usually gets the most favour, and Marcel. Faz is usually in the mud with doing something, like annoying someone, pissing off someone.
No, but Marcel.
Owen's got
I
receipts.
just got that face, bro. Everybody hates me. I just got that face.
No, you don't. We all love
Nah,
you.
they don't hate you. I wouldn't say they hate you.
Yeah, no one hates you.
That's a bit strong, Faz.
PS5. Nice. Cool.
That's a bit strong, Faz.
It's
They don't
like a
hate
flex
you.
one.
Can we
That's a
can we
flex.
talk about Jadon Sancho? Because Mina asked to.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I want
One
to
second.
hear what Faz got to say.
Okay,
about-
I'm going to read these super chats and then the floor is yours to start the Jadon Sancho discussion. Bice Byron says, for me, I get Marcel's point. I used to blindly support Ronaldo over Messi, even though deep down I knew Messi peeps him. But how he treats United has made me remove the blinding glasses. Troy Superstar says, KG is shameless. Excess for Ten Hag. Embarrassing. We're winning the league. Lemania says, sign of United growth. We used to pick up our goalkeeper used to pick up man of the match in most of our games. Then the defenders. Now it's moving to midfield. We are cooking
I've been
something.
saying this.
Chala Boys comic says, shout out to UV, Flex, Faz, KG versus Owen, Mina, Marcel equals the hats versus the hats not. We know whose hairlines can't do it. Big up Eric Ten Hag at the wheel, says Chala Boy Comics. Red Baron says, we want Cass and De Jong, so we want both of them. Imagine that. Yeah, imagine De Jong comes next season, and we got him and Casemiro. That'd be a madness. And Troy Superstar says Ten Hag needs to fix his in-game management. 4 goals against Brentford and City. Sorry, poor in-game management. Also poor subs at times. But we're winning the league. And also, just to keep you guys updated on the poll before we come to Faz with the Sancho talk. Which summer signing has had the greatest impact? 83% have said Lisandro Martinez. 6% say Eriksen, 10% say Casemiro, and 1% say Anthony. I remember when Eriksen and I remember when Eriksen and Martinez. I was in one point. I was like, Eriksen's been like, because he was free. We got this guy for nothing, and look how he's changed our midfield. But Martinez in the last few weeks has just gone, just taking it. But anyway, Jadon Sancho. Let's
Who's
talk.
gonna set pace? Faz or Mina, because these are the two that really. It's an interesting
Jadon
conversation.
Sancho. I was asking this question to someone. Does Jadon Sancho even have a song at Old Trafford? He ain't even got a song, and we got a song for Elanga. It's time for my guy to hold bench, plain and simple. Enough is enough, man. I don't know what's this thing with Man United fans here giving players time. We ain't won the league in 10 years, and you guys want to give time. I'm hearing 37-year-old Ronaldo give him time until he did this antic. Now people are like, yeah, Ronaldo can go. Jadon Sancho, give him time because he's young. All of this time stuff. When you have players like Anthony coming and nutmegging people and doing his fidget spinning, they call him, and still holding it down, being physical. You have Malacia doing his bit. All the players that have come through have literally done their bit and more. And you have Jadon Sancho, who's had a good time last season. He started cooking slowly this season, and then all of a sudden he's had to drop in form again. And you have his GA that you can go off that, you know what? He scored 3 goals so quick compared to last season where 3 goals took him ages. He's been involved in, for example, the Fred goal, and he's had some assists. The GA can give you a different aspect of his game, but in essence, he's always looking for the safe way out in games, except for the Everton game where he took that risk and got that assist from McTominay. I really want him to go and assess his game with Ten Hag and understand what he can bring to the table. If you look at Elanga in the Chelsea game, as weird as it sounds, Elanga came and caused a threat to that Chelsea back line. You saw him skin past 3 players instantly. And this is someone that majority of us will say, you know what, Elanga doesn't actually have that high of a ceiling. Even though he's a very young player, you haven't seen him light up the scene like you have with Sancho in Dortmund, for example. But Elanga's come on and he's shown willingness, he's shown desire, he's shown what he can, the other side of the game that he can bring. He might not be as technical and be a man the way Sancho we expect him to do or Anthony, but he's still bringing a lot of work ethic. And I think it's perfect time for Elanga to go and play against the Sheriff game and show why he deserves to be at least a squad player, for example. I'm not saying Sancho has to be sold or anything, but I really think he needs to reassess his game because I'm seeing Anthony on the other side, body players week in, week out and not lose the ball and fight for the ball. And 2 players marking him. And there was an argument that 2 players mark Sancho. Well, 2 players mark Anthony as well. And you see him beat his man. I don't think it's unrealistic for a fan or a football pundit to ask a winger forward to be able to beat a man because that's your bread and butter. When I look at Jadon Sancho, I think right now, can you solve a problem for Ten Hag? If Ten Hag has a problem, it's 0-0 against Chelsea, second half. Can you solve a problem? It's 1-0 now. You've conceded a penalty. Can you solve a problem? And he ain't solving problems for me. And he most definitely needs to hold bench now. That's my thing on Jadon Sancho. And it's a critical season for him. If he doesn't prove it now, I don't know when he will.
I mean, I don't disagree with some parts of what you're saying there, by the way, Faz. I agree with you that he has to be benched. I think Elanga was far more effective when he came on because he's got pace, something Sancho doesn't have. But I do push back slightly on, with Manchester United, we can't be affording to give anyone time. I think that there are several players we can name in the squad that at certain points have played badly and we say they need time, especially younger players. I agree with what you're saying with Sancho in that the hope was coming into this second season is that this would be the one where he pushes on and he's not doing that. I just think he needs time out the squad now because it looks like his confidence is completely shot. He looks really timid. It looks like even in some instances where maybe he can beat the player, he doesn't want to at this point. You saw when he got taken off against Chelsea.
Looked like a relief.
He turned around straight away. He knew it was him. He literally knew it was him. He turned around and went, oh, good. They came off. He reminds me of Rashford last season where he just looks completely devoid of confidence. When he's playing, it looks like it's the last place he wants to be. And I can't figure out why, because
does he need is he lacking in love? Does he need to feel like the main man? Like I don't know the full career when he was at Dortmund, but he was the star boy, right? He was the one that they all looked to, kind of like they looked at him how they kind of see Bellingham, right? He was playing with
Haaland at one point.
You can't let him off. You can't let him off the hook like that.
He was playing with Haaland. And maybe it's a case of he knows that maybe he knows in actuality, look, if Martial was fit, I wouldn't even be on the pitch because Rashford would be out wide. Maybe it's because of that. I don't know because again, starting the season, he actually started all right because he got goals and assists, but he's just dropped off so quickly.
Just to add to what KG said, you go and again at the start of the season when Sancho was scoring, you all came for me, and I did not call him overweight. I said his physicality is off question. Those was my words.
Well, your words were he's prone to gaining weight. That was the actual quote.
He's prone to gaining weight because when he had that flu and when he came back, please, go and look at his pictures on preseason and when he came back from that flu, and go and look at his physique in Dortmund and how they were putting him through the paces, and look at his physique now. On top of that, go and check how many 90 minutes can he play? Go and check can he blitz from box to box when he needs to help his fullback? And when I said it, people thought I was being childish, I was being crazy, but it's true. His physicality is a serious question because he can't play 90 minutes. He starts huffing and puffing. You see him in games having his hands on his knees at times. And in the Chelsea game, you saw he looked like he was relieved that he was going to come off. And I think he needs to go and work in his physicality, his fitness, and really reassess his game.
I think that's more to do. I think his fitness and that is more to do with Eric Ramsey because Luke Shaw had that same problem too. Don't you think so, Faz?
I think Luke Shaw came back when he had competition. Eric Ramsey has done a great job with some players and he done not a great job with some other players. When I see him giving instructions to players, I wonder what he's giving instructions for. But I don't know what he does, I don't know what he does, what he's doing. It is what it is. If he's doing good with players, good on him. Well, he needs to have a new project, which is Jadon Sancho. He needs to maybe work on Rashford's finishing as well. Or, well, Benny McCarthy can do that. But
I think with Sancho, I think that you got to get the balance right of the criticism for me now, because it can shift early on when it's really new and there's things happening in the squad. Of course, players' games can suffer, or some players' games can go up because there's a better system, etc. But now we're definitely in a position with Sancho where I think you have to just look at his appetite for intensity. And I
Can you
mean,
start him?
like,
Do you start him in the next game, Flex?
I wouldn't start him in the next game.
So
No,
who comes in then?
I would bring in Anthony. I would. My son. I would. And it's not a player SC thing. I just wanted to say that because I haven't been able to say it for ages because he's not been playing. But the real honesty thing of it is that if, first of all, in terms of keeping the squad on its toes of what Ten Hag's trying to do, which is if you go for a little rough spell, there's been quite a few who have done it. You have your timeout and you get another chance again at some point. You know, we saw the thing happen with what's his face, Luke Shaw. He spent time out. We saw it happen with McTominay, with Fred. People have done it. It's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? In the squad, people not getting a chance and then getting a chance. So, and then injuries have dictated other bits of that. But we've definitely seen the manager not scared to do that. But Jadon's probably got to look at himself and be like, bro, like, I need to find something though. Because if you look at our team now, we are actually arriving in the positions. Like how many times against Chelsea where we like, you know what? You can't blame this actually. We're actually, the build-up play is fine. And what's happening is that Ten Hag is being left to legislate for individual errors. Even when we were giving the ball to Chelsea from misplaced passes, it's nothing to do with the systems, execution from players. But Sancho, when you look at it against Spurs, the performance was so good that we was actually able to carry him as a passenger in that game because our performance was so good. Obviously, that's not always going to be the case. Against Newcastle, similar thing, just nothing there, empty. Then Chelsea, like, right, Ten Hag's really giving him a chance here. He's starting him in all the big games here. And he's just giving him nothing. And then now we're seeing him being taken off even earlier. So, and then you're seeing, like Faz says, when Anthony Elanga came on, he was at it. But let's not get it twisted. As much as I love my son, Anthony, there's been times when, you know, he played because Rashi was so poor last year. And then it got to a point, let's all be honest with ourselves. Let's not forget here. We came to a point, even when Elanga was coming to it, was like, it's probably not it though. When Rashford gets back to the level, you know what I mean? When Sancho gets back to the level, like maybe Anthony, and then Anthony on the right-hand side came in and it's like, rah, there's no one can even get a chance there. So
it needs hard work. He needs
hard work. He just has to work harder.
I feel like he needs like another pre-season or something because the guy just needs. I know it sounds mad, but he's just he doesn't run. Like he doesn't run
because of
he hasn't got any intensity. Like
and heart, he just has to go. Like I know we talk about passion and desire of not being a thing. He possesses skill. He possesses a silky touch. He possesses being able to control the ball properly. He possesses being able to put the right weight on the pass. Technically sound footballer. He hasn't got to work on any of the fundamentals of the game. Well, actually, one of the fundamentals of the game is intensity, the basic.
And
just do things. Yeah, just do things off the ball quickly. Do things on the ball. Make decisions quickly and decisively.
Can he play number 9 though? This is like, can't he just get us?
Not for me.
But the thing is, Flex, you have to consider when a player, and people will argue that he needs a Martial to help him unlock, which the word I hate. But when you don't have a player to help you, you have to be able to go and find other tools in your arsenal to bring to the game. If you can't, then you have to hold bench because look at how we say Rashford can't play the central role and he's ideal on the left. But at least Rashford is giving us good headaches, like I call it. He's at least taking shots on keeper, making the keeper work. He's active. Whereas the basics from Sancho is not coming. And you say it's in the head. I feel like it's a snowball effect because the walls around him are caving in. You hear the rumors about Rafael Leao, for example, that's been talked about. You see Anthony Elanga coming in for him. When Martial comes back, Rashford's going to play on the left, so he's still not going to get minutes. He's probably feeling like, you know what? Even if I work hard now, Rashford's going to be on the left because he's the first choice for the manager anyways. And then there's the rumors of another winger in the future. On top of that, he's shooting as well from outside the box. You see Anthony at least making the keeper work. This guy don't even make the keeper work. And it's a lot of different question marks that are coming on for him, to be honest. And like I say, some players, they play out of this rut that they can be in. And some players, it's a snowball effect for them. And I think it's a snowball effect for him. And
Marcel, what are you saying on Sancho? Is it just a confidence thing? And within the next 5 games or up until the World Cup, we're all going to be saying, see, that's the Sancho we want to have a look at. That's the one we want. Or is it like what Faz you're saying? Like it's just going to be like a bit of a snowball effect.
It's only his first season. Last season was his first season, of course. So let's see what happens again in the second season. I think all the players need time to be evaluated properly. So we'll see what happens throughout the season. he has to perform much better than what he has been. But like Owen was saying, at the beginning of the season, he was playing well. So maybe he's going to play in spells. I think last season as well, there was a few moments where he showed lots of high quality. So let's hope that he can start producing for us. I think Faz is right though. He has to go on the bench right now. Elanga looked much sharp when he came on. We haven't even mentioned Garnacho. I think Garnacho is someone that could play on Thursday's game. We was talking about who can play next game. Thursday's game, you need to rotate that squad. And for me, he has to be left out of the squad. So yeah, I'm a bit here and there about Sancho, but I'm not worried right now because the whole squad's playing well. Like you mentioned, I think Ten Hag's coached 3 2-0 wins. Against Newcastle, that was a win. That was against Thing, that was a win. Against Chelsea, that was also good enough to win, and against Spurs. So yeah.
Just quickly, KG's got to go. He's a disgrace. He's a cheat. We are wrapping up in like 1 minute.
Monday Night Smoke. It's because we're late.
He's got to do Monday Night Smoke. But should we just make him keep being late so he could be late for that and just be?
No.
So you can be on time for that.
Oh, time for boxing.
No, you
I
know
know
what? I'm just gonna take him out.
No. He knows where his bread's buttered.
I'm walking in a line like Ronaldo. You are not.
He's leaving early, like CR7. I can't believe it.
That's actually
can't have that.
What he's done.
Gaffer, you have to penalize him for that.
100%.
Now he owes all of us Nando's.
He didn't even say bye.
He didn't even say bye.
There's a Nando's around the corner, There's a Nando's around the corner from the ground.
Yeah, I think we all deserve a Nando's now.
It's actually disgraceful what he's done.
Yeah.
Like, one of the rules, 100%, is we all stay to the end. We all stay together, and he's just gone off his own accord. You know what? I'm going to send a super chat in to that boxing podcast as well, and I'm going to let him know. Actually, no, I'm not even going to give him my money. I'm not going to do that.
Don't do that. He owes me money, Flex.
Yeah. That's true. He owes you money. But now to finish off on the Sancho thing. Well, Owen, actually, you didn't get to say your take before we wrap up on Sancho.
No, just again, I think he just needs to go on the bench for a little while. I think that to completely write him off is probably a bit too much. What we have seen this season is players that haven't been playing well have come out of the side, and then 2 or 3 games later or a month later, they've come back in and they start playing well. So I think that I agree with what you guys were saying. Elanga should come in Thursday to build up some match rhythm for Sunday. And then you never know. Maybe Elanga will drop a stinker, but by that time, Sancho's been on the bench for a little while, and then he can come back in and maybe rediscover his form. But ultimately, as I mentioned earlier on, if Martial was playing at the moment, he wouldn't even be in the squad anyway. And possibly with Cody Hakpo, if he comes in, what happens then? He plays off the left.
That's why he's got to get it in. That's why it's about the belief, isn't it? And that's good that the manager's building that scenario where players feel threatened. Players' positions feel threatened. Apart from people like Lisandro Martinez, but clearly he's got that mentality of like, I'm a player. That's why Ten Hag brought him there. He's just going to play at that intensity all the time. And we don't have anything like him. There's other players that are becoming, I don't want to say disposable because that's probably too strong a word, but within the squad, they're becoming rotational. Where
squad players.
If you're not at it, you can be on the bench quite easily. But Rashford is doing enough. So even though he's not scoring and we're getting annoyed and frustrated that he's being wasteful, which is absolutely true, you'd still rather have him in the team right now than not. Because if you took Rashford out, who's going to make the runs that he makes? Who's going to arrive in them areas like he does? Maybe Elanga actually can from the left-hand side, to be fair, which is why we're asking for it. But I just think we need to do that. We can't do that all over the pitch yet, but in that area, definitely, especially when Martial is back. I'm going to read out these super chats here before we...
I got a question though, because it comes on to the strikers that you're talking about. But
yeah, okay. Let me do the super chats and then you
not
can.
Harry Kane, man, not Harry Kane.
M. Sati said, Flex, can you ask Eric Ten Hag in the Europa League press conference about youngsters? Your approach is not threatening, so he would answer. Garnacho needs his trial. I could take that on board if that's what you want me to post to Eric next time I get the opportunity to. It's not always a given that you get the opportunity to, but if I'm not tasked with asking one of the players a question or something, then yeah, I could look at that for you lot. And then the next question, the next super chat was the last one from Lil Yo-Yo. Says, you dealing with KG tomorrow, Fleck? There's no Flex in KG show tomorrow. He's not here. He's a disgrace. He's a cheat.
Is there not one tomorrow? So he's walked out this evening and then he's not showing up tomorrow. He's not showing up to training after leaving the match. And to really crush everyone's dreams, eat one of dreams. But
He's not here the following week as well because it's his birthday. He's a disgrace. He's a cheat.
Can I be honest? There has to be like a penalty where if you miss the stream, you donate some memberships, maybe like a couple memberships. You know,
Yeah, he's got to do something. He's got to do
that's
something.
light for KG, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's and here you go. And Indisa says, so Arnautovic is a current top scorer in Serie A. Let's not, guys. Come on. Let's not. Marcel, just to close us out of the show, and then Mina can answer the question or comment off the back of what you're going to say. What is it you wanted to bring up, Marcel? This is interesting.
We're talking about players in the forward line, this January, I think we need to go into the market. So out of Ivan Toney, Harry Kane, Mitrovic, and Andre Silva, who would you pick for January?
We're going to sign Harry Kane in January, Marcel.
It's a question.
Is that wishful thinking?
People were talking about Frankie de Jong in January, Owen. Just the other week, people were questioning me about who would you want, Frankie de Jong or a forward or goalkeeper. I think it is.
Before I met you, I was sane. After I met you, the influence you've had on me, I've just become a crackhead like you.
Stop blaming other people for your madness. Just have your own. You turn back to your own. Yeah. Marcel's a catalyst, but you were already. That was you. Yeah. Mina, what are you saying to that? Them players. You said.
Well, yeah. No. Realistically speaking, I don't think we will sign any of them. But in a world where it could happen, I would probably go for Ivan Toney. I'm a big fan of Mitrovic. I'm a fan of Harry Kane, but I think Ivan Toney would work perfectly in this system and this lineup. I do think United need to address their striker issues. I say it all the time. Like we've gone for short-term solutions since basically RVP left. And Ronaldo was one of them. Ibrahimovic was one of them. The only time we actually tried to sign a forward was Lukaku, and it just didn't work out really. Just because I think the manager that he had at the time, I don't think that manager was someone who was bringing in players that he thought worked with his system. So if Ten Hag was to bring in a striker, I think Ivan Toney. But it's just wishful thinking. Like I don't see Brentford, Fulham, Spurs letting go of their main strikers at all, whether it's in the summer or whether it's in January. I don't ever see it happening. But the good thing with the World Cup happening is that we're gonna see some people putting on good performances and auditions for big clubs at the World Cup. So maybe we can find a striker from there. But I don't think we'll be going for a striker in January. I know you want Harry Kane.
The World Cup, though, Mina. I'll be honest. World Cup players turn up and then they disappear after it as well. You think, these players, and then they disappear. Yeah. But my number one would have been Lautaro Martinez. But in January, who you're gonna get? Nobody's going to want to let their number one striker go, not for cheap, anyways. Unless Marcel wants to do some protesting and get a couple of coins from Grandad Glazer.
but you know what though? I'll be honest. Obviously, I wouldn't because the money ain't going to be right and it can't happen. I'm not against Kane like everyone's against Kane. Like if Kane became available for a reasonable price, which he would not, so I understand it's never going to happen. Harry Kane's still a top class striker. Like he's still a top striker. I don't get this thing.
Obviously,
Harry Kane's a wicked striker.
He's probably going to go to. He's probably going to go to Bayern Munich, isn't he? But I mean, I don't disagree that in an ideal world you could sign Harry Kane and he would score 30 goals. But 100%. It's an ideal world that does not exist, and it's farcical.
We just can't get him for the money.
He'd even not even that. He'd even choose to go to Man United. If Harry Kane leaves Spurs, it's to somewhere that's guaranteed trophies, and unfortunately. That ain't Man United at the moment. That's the facts of life.
And I know no one wants to pay huge money because he's 29 now. So how long does he have left at the top? What, 3 years maybe? Might ooze a fourth out of it. You know what I mean? Because he's at 29. Look at Lewandowski. He's still going strong. Look at Benzema. Yeah, and he's definitely in the caliber of top strikers that can keep going. But we'd have to spend over 100 million. Daniel Levy's still going to want that. The cheek of him. He's still going to want that. And that's where we have to invest. But make no mistake, if he was our number 9, he'd be scoring loads of goals right now. He would. He would. I think.
It's simple math. 100%. He would be.
He's just not an attainable and reason. Like the timeline doesn't.
Attainable, Fleck. I still think he's attainable. We 100% could get Harry Kane on the books.
By the way,
if we threw all that money, we could. But I just don't think it'd be a good idea to because we got to get a right back. We need more midfielders. We need a striker that's going to be there for a while. But I agree with his pedigree in it. If Harry Kane was here for 4 years from the end of this summer, I wouldn't hate that. But it's just
I'm telling you though, Lautaro Martinez is the real deal.
Before we wrap things
Sorry,
up, by the
Owen.
way, completely off topic, but Unai Emery's been announced as the Aston Villa manager or head coach last 2 minutes. It's very quick.
Saw that.
Aston Villa,
Wow.
official.
Saw that. On that one, just really quickly, I'm not being a killjoy, but I did see on Twitter that like "good evening" was trending and stuff like that because it's funny. Like, but deep down, I know it does make you kind of giggle. But I did see some like an article one time of basically like that can be seen as like disrespect because it's basically taking the mick because it's English.
What load of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like literally, if I went to Spain,
yeah.
if I went to Spain, of course they'd be taking the piss out of the way I'm trying to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that he came to the UK when he was Arsenal manager, I think he could barely speak that much English anyway, could he? So
yeah,
people to say that, and also on top of that, it's polite. If someone says good evening to be gone, good evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's mad. And it's something. It is something that, listen, I'm sure we've all probably felt, to that early stages of like saying it, and I'm not gonna be on my moral high horse, but I just think that we've got to be careful of that because it is actually true. You don't really look at it like that.
No.
But he is, interesting to see what they're going to be on. We've got to play them twice in a few days. When we come to play them in a couple of weeks, so going to be very interesting.
His first 2 games are both against Manchester United.
That's a cheat and that's a disgrace. How that happens every year, I do not know.
Yeah, the new manager comes in. Yeah. Because when we played against them last time, it was like Coutinho's first game and stuff like that as well. And winning 2-0 couldn't win. Yogaros says, why would you sign another old striker with Kane? Well, 29 and 37 is a bit different, I would say. But I see what you're saying. No, there's not much longevity. Anyway, guys, 6 show. You know what it is. Full view settings. It was full and it became partly full as KG left us. If you want something to do, go to his Monday Night Smoke. Go to Undefeated Podcast and just piss him off. Just spam him. Just do something. Just say Flex sent us here. Just try and get yourself blocked off his channel. No, don't do that. Just be annoying. Just annoy him somehow.
Just say you don't like Deontay Wilder, and that'll do it.
There you go. Right, there you go. Get in his head. Big up to the panel. As we're leaving, you guys can put in the comments who was the player of the stream. Let us know the personality of the stream, the person of the stream. Let us know in the comments as we go out, or in the comment boxes after the video. Let us know if you're watching afterwards as well. And we'll be back soon, man, with another video tomorrow. We are out of here, guys. Take care. Peace out.